Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sentai Supercast. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with that. I think that's good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty solid.
Yeah, the Super Sentai Cast. Perfect. All right, I'm Fire Princess Lily, and I am joined by my friend Justice Ray, and we're here to give you that Gao access, because we are going through Gao Ranger. As you heard in our opening, we use the Gao Ranger opening, or at least, part of it. Copyright and stuff. Yeah, so, Ray, how's it been going since we last recorded?
Actually pretty solid. I watched both the starting episodes of Sentai and its adaptation to compare, and I gotta say, stirring my love for the Sentai. Honestly,
Nice.
I was missing out.
Very cool. What you been up to? Other than
mostly watching just isekai anime and putting decks together for like UFS.
Nice. Very cool.
Actually, Universes would be really solid for Power Rangers. I really think it would be like really solid card game property to adapt.
Oh?
Yeah, that's my hot take, air quotes. Like, I feel that like the way the card game works, like you can have the weapons as assets. It'd be dope. Imagine Battleizer as an asset.
Be neat.
Mm-hmm. So, how about you? How have you been up to?
Work, mostly. Just working my life away. That's what I do. Because we live in a capitalist society.
Right. So I took like a 3-month vacation, so I'm still in Texas. But I fly out on the 24th back to Jersey.
Ah. Well, at least you're going to Jersey. I mean, that's not bad.
No, I'm packing up to eventually move here.
Oh, nice. Not a big fan of Texas, having lived there forever.
Yeah, I understand.
I have a different life experience.
I get it.
What else have I been up to? Keeping up with DuckTales, because
yeah,
it's real good. What did they even do this week? I don't know. Last week was the Impossible. That's right. Storkules showed up. That's right. Yeah. This week was Storkules and Celine, and like, I'm not trying to say anything about nothing, but Storkules is gay for Donald.
Oh, obviously, I remember that from like the first episode. He definitely was all about Donald.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he like calls him his Don. So in this episode, I just feel like it's super implicit. Other than that, watching wrestling. We had a big pay-per-view at AEW this last Saturday.
I actually paid the $50 to watch it. Actually,
nice. Me too, quote unquote. I'm poor.
I legitimately paid it. Like, I'm not...
No, that's fine. I'm glad. If I could, I would, but I can't. Right. So I can't. I'm not saying. I'm definitely saying that if you can pay it, you should. If you can't, you shouldn't have to miss out on it.
Right.
Important things happen at pay-per-views.
What else?
Except for women's matches, apparently.
This weekend, apparently, Freakazoid's on an episode of Teen Titans Go, so I might actually watch Teen Titans Go again.
For all the shit that people give it, Teen Titans Go is not that bad.
Oh, it is very well written for what it aims for. Like, I understand. I'm not the demographic. That's what you have to understand when you watch shows like that. You are not the demographic anymore.
Yeah, we grew up. We're not supposed to be the demographic anymore, but you can still find joy in it.
Yeah, Thundercats Roar is like not in my demographic.
Yeah, but it's so well
animated. Go is not in my demographic. I'm not in their demographic.
Like, if we could just talk about it for a moment, Thundercats Roar is so smoothly animated. Like, when it wants to be, when it wants to do like action stuff, it really does it and brings it. Like
Right.
I've seen
I feel
clips.
that
And it's like,
it's the kind of aspect you get from like watching Trigger products.
yeah,
Like when watching that, you're like, it's smoothly animated when it wants to be. But
yeah.
like especially with the way Nue is animated in Kill la Kill,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, no, she's supposed to look otherworldly, so we barely animate her unless we have to.
Nui just sucks.
Oh, she's terrible character, but
She's a
animated very well.
great character, but she's a terrible person. Well, she's not a person. Like, but you know,
Hmm.
still going
Have
through
you got
Kill la
the
Kill right now.
Inferno Cop yet?
Yeah, Inferno Cop was the first one that we did on that podcast. We're doing
Right,
those in
that's
order.
the parallel I have with like peak Trigger animation. We do only what we have to for action scenes.
We did Inferno Cop in one episode because it was just so short.
Right.
And Turning Girls.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that being just a short.
Yeah. So, so are you excited for Kenny Omega to be the champion? Because that's what's happening.
I think it's gonna be immediate, like end of year kind of thing? No. But I do think Moxley is like he's due for a title change.
Mm-hmm.
Not even for him to just move on to greener pastures. I just missed his opportunities to be able to defend his United States his North American title that he has with my WGP.
Well, I mean, that's more about a virus.
I understand. I just like I have title fights with John Moxley I'm looking forward to, and AEW needs like a fresh champion. It's been like there's only been 2 champions of record.
Yeah, if John Moxley walks away with the title on the second, I'll be surprised.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be surprised, but I'm looking forward to the build up just by virtue of Kenny Omega bringing up the fact that we haven't had a one-on-one match. Like when he said that, I'm like, wait a minute, I know they did, and then I remember it was unsanctioned and it's not on their records.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count, so he's just like, oh yeah, that's full heel heat. I love it.
It doesn't matter that John bounced his head off the actual wooden boards of the ring.
So he might have forgotten it.
Yeah, that's it. It's brain damage. Poor Kenny.
He's bounced off of more. I've seen that man dive into a lake.
Yeah. Speaking of hardcore matches, how do you feel that Mox's I Quit match compares to that unsanctioned match?
What, the bunkhouse match?
No. The match
the unsanctioned match versus the I Quit match?
Yeah.
The unsanctioned match is definitely like a better spot fest, but like the I Quit match was more visceral, like, and like meticulous. Like Eddie and John weren't like going for spot. Right. They were just, looking to brutalize each other. And though I could do without a lot of Eddie grabbing the single strand of barbed wire and bringing it closer and closer into the ring, like it felt like you were trying to make a Chekhov's gun too deliberately. Like I like wrestling's Chekhov guns, like really needs to be like revised. Like like ones that are less deliberate but more impactful. Like for example, like FTR, Dax Harwood's bad hand that he couldn't punch with. That was a great Chekhov's gun. And the no flips just fists part of like FTR's like catchphrases being used against them for the title fight was just dope for me. But this is gonna become the wrestling podcast though.
Oh, I always talk about wrestling on all my podcasts because it's what I do during the week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I go to work, I watch wrestling. That's my week.
If I may, I think Wednesday's getting a bit crowded between NXT, AEW, and now MLW on YouTube.
Oh, is MLW starting to do stuff again?
Yeah, they have the restart going. I believe that they're starting to do their shows on Wednesdays, and they have a nice title fight for Jacob Fatu against Davey Boy Smith.
Why?
And
Why Wednesdays?
yeah, I mostly watch MLW for Alexander Hammerstone.
I guess we can. I guess Brian Pillman Jr. is going to start showing up less.
Oh yeah, he has a title fight too. For his light heavyweight title.
There's not enough days in the week for every wrestling broadcast, honestly.
I mean, Thursdays just seem so empty.
That's true. I think they could throw NXT on Thursdays. But then
Yeah.
AEW is getting their second show of the week here soon. And so I don't know where they're going to put that.
I'm just looking forward to the Aki games. Aki man.
So, speaking of... I can't segue that. I mean, I feel like I could, but I can't. So,
You can try.
Speaking of people with... Nope, I'm out. You want to talk about Gao Ranger?
Yeah.
All right. I watched episode 1 of Gao Ranger and Wild Force.
All right.
Ray apparently watched like 3 episodes of each.
No, I went up to the entry of Zenaku, or aka Rauki.
Yeah. So
sorry, you don't know what that means, do you?
Nope, that means nothing to me.
Oh, okay. To put it better, the sixth Ranger arc. I stopped at the beginning of the Sixth Ranger arc.
So that fun for you to have to do this over.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I overcommitted. That's the key.
It's the key. So I actually watched both to kind of compare them because somebody told me that Wild Force was a like shot-for-shot recreation of Gao Ranger, and that is untrue. I mean, it's close.
It's basically shot for shot, but I believe the only real changes are for Gao Red and Cole Evans. That's it.
I mean, they also like censor some of Gao Yellow stuff.
Oh well, yeah. That to given the fact that this is the last season where they changed the genders, so
yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Starting from here, next season is Ninja Storm, and that one
Ninja
keeps
Storm was
to.
fun.
There's only one female Ninja Storm.
Yeah, I think there's generally only one female Sentai period each season. I could be wrong.
No, because Dino Thunder only had one, which was after Ninja Storm. SPD had 2.
One.
Wait,
Una. Yeah. No, SPD had
2.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, there was Z and the one who was actually on the SPD Force. It was Scott. It was the Red Ranger. Bridge, which was the green. Sky was blue. And then there was Z and the Pink Ranger. And Z was yellow.
Oh, well, you are correct.
Mm-hmm. SPD is about when I stopped watching. And then I know that there was 2 females in RPM. Because I started watching RPM. Mostly for Dr. K. She's adorable. But yeah, there. One of the Sixth Ranger air quotes in RPM is female, and then I think there's 2 females on the roster for RPM just by default. So I think there's like 3. Oh, SPD also has Kat Manx as a ranger for 1 episode. So.
Oh wow.
Kat Manx counts enough as a ranger that she's on the fighting game, so that counts.
Oh well, there you go.
As the first Orange Ranger.
Nice. Is the SPD when they also stopped doing the skirts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that they're more like streamlined for universal unisex outfits by that point.
In case they want to just change stuff up, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So.
In case anybody's curious, this is the last season that Saban worked on Rangers until they got the rights back from Samurai. So from this
Oh.
point, it's going to be the Disney era. After this, that's why the last episode of Wild Force is called the last of the Power Rangers. They were like, "This might be the end. Let's go ahead and call it the end." And then next year, they were like, "Let's go to New Zealand forever,
Forever.
forever, forever, forever." And from that point on, like no English speaking character in those episodes can ever truly get their Kiwi accent out of the back of their voice. Even the Scottish dude can't do it.
Well,
And his main gimmick was he was Scottish. He even said it on screen. His big head, middle of the screen, says, "I'm Scottish," and just keeps fighting. I'm like, great. Racial stereotypes.
Well, you know.
We're just...
All right, so the first episode opens up on a kid being tucked into bed. It's very, very cozy. He's got a million stuffed animals. And his mom starts telling him a story. And then we hear like a bunch of different voices telling a bunch of different stories, which don't tie really into anything.
Not just yet.
Like talking about bamboo cutters and old lonely women and I don't feel like this actually tied into anything. Maybe I just didn't pay good enough attention.
I believe it's supposed to be resting in the back of our minds for the future, but it also signifies that like with all the pollution that's going on, the pollution has unlocked the opportunity for the orgs to come through the barrier, and the orgs materialize into everyday objects, and strike out of the blue. So that's why in this first episode, it just like co-ops an object because it's not being sent out. Like the org's not sent out to occupy an object. That's usually org materializes. The Duke orgs find them and then point them in the right direction.
Right. Okay.
Which the Duke orgs are who you saw at the end of the episode.
Right. Yeah.
Susu and Yadaiba.
In the English version, you see them as like weird dog catchers. Way before, see them in costume.
And that's Tatsuka and Gendrix.
Yep.
Tatsuka's a better name than Susu, but they're supposed to be Japanese puns.
Mm-hmm.
Yadaiba's supposed to be "this can't be" or no, not me. To show how cowardly he is, and Susu's like almost self-explanatory. But yeah, you're gonna be seeing that. They didn't say the pun, but there's gonna be a pun for every time Tatsuka/Susu shows up. That is just gonna grate on your patience as you go.
So we smash cut over to a org flying through the sky. Not well, but he's doing his thing. Go ahead.
Just eating up that effects budget.
Yep. Crashes into the window, interrupts a couple's meal, and then he flies straight up and away. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem to have necessarily a goal, and that's when Gao White shows up. I do not know these characters' names other than their colors, but I don't think they're introduced otherwise. At least not this episode.
Yeah, in the next one, Gao Yellow mentions that they don't go by their names because they're warriors. So they refer to each other as their colors up until a certain point. There's a point where you don't even know their names until the credits tell you.
Yeah. So she knocks him away, and then Gao Black comes out of nowhere and smashes him into a wall and then tosses him away. And that's when Gao Blue jumps out of the bay, pulls him in. They do some fighting in the water, and then the turbine org is like, all right, I have wind. I can just blow this guy away and get out of the water. Mm-hmm. Only to get caught by Gao Yellow. And this they cut out of the English version. Gao Yellow grabs this thing by his proverbial head and smashes it through a wall, which I thought was cool. I like Gao Yellow.
Yeah.
He's the Sasuke of the group.
Yep. The definite Sasuke of the group. Very militaristic. No nonsense. It like when I saw Gao Yellow fly and grab him by the head, I thought, "Oh, great, gigantic pressure. That'd be dope." Like I like me some King of Fighter references whenever I like in my brain when I watch stuff, and like whenever I saw that, I was like, "Ah, gigantic pressure, great." It's Rugel's move from King of Fighters,
Nice.
the one where he just grabs you and then slams you against the wall.
I do like that in Wild Force they gave Gao Yellow's role to a woman, and they didn't change the attitude at all.
Nope.
Like at all. It's good. It's funny, but it's also good.
The characters remain unchanged, except for Gao Red. Honestly,
I don't know that I care for the Gao Red change.
No. Gao Red's change is great for me because, like, all right, the juxtaposition. Let's just get to it. The juxtaposition between Gao Red and Cole Evans is coming straight out of being raised by wolves and is just rejoining society. So, like, he seems brain dead. He's like, or in some way, shape, or form, just not socially aware. All of the social cues are messed up. So, at least Gao Red has a job, like a career. Like he is a veterinarian. Like at least, like he's not coming out the woods. Like, hey, let me join society. Oh, this is a terrible time to join society. He's being attacked by demons. What is this about? I guess I got to do something.
The funny thing for me about Cole Evans is like he's talking with the dog. He's like, "I'm here to find my destiny," and it's like, well, good thing you came to like the right city to find your destiny in. You fucking wild man.
How convenient.
How convenient.
He could have wandered his way to Seattle or Ryokyo. Like the way I see it, he could have wandered into any town and would have found a different destiny. I imagine Cole Evans, janitor.
So
or Cole Evans, professional wrestler. I love it. Let's go to Mexico City.
Yes, perfect.
And he wears a mask that looks like what his Power Ranger helmet would be. I like this alternate universe. Let's write this fanfic. Cole
Why
Evans.
hasn't there been a Sentai that revolves around wrestling yet?
Okay. Saban made one.
Oh, did they?
Yep. Los Luchadores. You can go a whole life and not watch that. I promise you.
Okay, it doesn't sound like anything I want.
Yeah. It's luchadors on motorcycles. You can pass it. It's not. There's no Sentai footage involved in that. I don't think. I think it was just Saban using the money that they made from the cheaply cut Sentai footage that they don't have to film half of the thing that they're filming to make a full garbage thing. So, wow. Yeah, this was like during the Fox Kids into Jetix era. Ooh. So like not a lot of people watched it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Fox Kids into Foxbox into Jetix era.
Love me some Fighting Foodons though. That Foxbox had some stuff.
Oh yeah, Fighting Foodons was the shit.
All right, so Gao Yellow just stabs this dude, and he gets knocked away. That's when Gao White shows up and the other two, and they're like, all right, we're gonna win, but then lightning happens out of nowhere. Right. And this is the Plug Org. Mm-hmm. He's electric. The other guy's wind. And they blow up a building. Well, part of a building. Which causes issues around the city. Including this elephant now, who we cut to an elephant just going out of control. Which, going out of control is like, this elephant is obviously being moved. Like,
why was this elephant, like, in the city? Like,
a circus.
Okay, so it was like near the circus.
Yeah.
All right. So the circus was in town. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Like if it was like disturbing the zoo, yeah, I will give you that. But like it feels like there's only two avenues where we can have a veterinarian meet the cast and be like, "Oh yeah, guys, I was like one of you guys. I had the lion orb in my body." At least Cole had it at like since he was a baby, wrapped up in wrapped up in his blanket. Which is just, I guess they wanted to have like a physical object, so we're not having like the energy withdrawn from with him, because then it could be like, our effects budget can only cover so much.
Yeah, they have to animate that.
Yeah, they have to animate like Robert Medina glowing red and having like this energy come out from him.
Yeah. So, and he's the guy who stabbed his roommate with a sword, right?
Yep.
Yep. Well, you know.
And self-defense. Air quotes.
Air quotes. The cops show up and forget that they're not in America and pull guns on this elephant. Like, I didn't even know.
I don't know how Japanese wildlife laws are concerned, but I'm pretty sure like you call animal control. Like we call it animal control. Like
also, that caliber of pistol is just gonna make an angry elephant.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a very angry, confused elephant. Like, what are you hitting me with? What bug stung in me? I must vacate this premises immediately.
Yeah.
And post haste.
But before they could shoot, that's when Gao Red shows up. He's not Gao Red yet. But he's like, don't worry. Don't shoot. I'm a veterinarian. And then he starts talking to the elephant.
Yep.
He closes his eyes and he listens deep with his heart as this elephant like tells him his problems. Or her problems.
I do wonder how that conversation went.
Yeah. It gets close to him. But it's chill. It's a chill elephant because elephants are chill for the most part.
Natively chill. They think that we're pets.
They do. They like us. But yeah, he's like, hey, it's cool. You were just scared. Yeah, I get it. And we cut over to God, what is her name? Her name is. Thank you, Wiki, for not telling me anything. They'll say her name later. She's like the priestess of this animal spirits. I don't think they're called animal spirits in this.
They're called power spirits.
Power spirits.
Power animals, sorry.
Power animals. Okay, we worked our way there. We cut back over to the Gao Rangers losing their fights, and the orgs disappearing, and they're like, ah, damn it. We fucked up.
Her name is Totomu.
Totomu. There we go.
Val Priestess Totomu.
They just said her name. Yeah, Gao White's like, hey, you know what? Totomu's saying that we need a 5th Ranger. Maybe we need a 5th Ranger. Only for Gao Yellow to say, no, we're cool. Shut up.
No, we're cool, but we never had this instance where like 2 orcs show up.
Yeah.
So I think we're cool. We just got to go 2-on-1. Even though like it showed that 3-on-1 was not even helpful. So like, how you think 2-on-1's gonna do? Like,
But we cut back over to Tomu, and she's like, I found the 5th Ranger. I did it. I'm awesome. I'm great. Then we cut to the next day. There's a newscast talking about the multiple explosions, and we see this guy.
Get kidnapped?
He's gonna get kidnapped, yeah. After helping a cat.
Kidnapped. That was just they just got him in the middle of the day in broad daylight. Yeah. Gave him that shot to put him to sleep, and then he wakes up in an entirely different world.
Yep.
And the worst part is that they didn't like be at his bedside to like comfort him on his wake up. No, they just threw him in the middle of Animaria to let him basically just chill. Yeah,
pretty much. Gao White says, hey, you need to come with us. And before giving him really a chance to like ask questions, Black and Blue grab him so that Yellow can just punch him the fuck out.
Yep.
Which they do in Wild Force. It's great.
Which is so weird when you know how like Black and Blue how nice they are.
Yeah.
Like in Wild Force, they're like, oh, we gotta just straight up like, like we gotta gangplank this dude, Shanghai him into Animaria.
Speaking of Animaria, Gao Red is waking up there because he got kidnapped.
Yeah, it's an entirely floating island.
How did he know it was floating?
He figured that out from like the whistling wind from the stratosphere they're in.
Is that it? Because I just saw him like looking out over Animaria and going, it's flying island. I was like, man, there are like mountains all over this thing. You could not see over it to see that it's flying. But I get, okay, whistling wind. Sure, I'll buy that.
I would say like just being in like a lot of the things that don't cover in like Flying Colony like shows is that like the whistling of the wind of just like being in a different like tier of the atmosphere that we have, you deal with atmospheric wind pressures that are different than what we're accustomed to. So I don't know how you could see over from where he was standing, like the sight line and everything, but like you could see that like you don't have the blue sky over you. You have like clouds and like there's a certain a viewpoint that you have in the sky that's different than like you would have standing and everything of the sort. Like you have the blue sky above you, but like you're gonna have a lot of cloud cover and different clouds shapes in general from where he was standing.
Fair enough.
Plus, you don't know how tall the enemy area like floats up. Like it just casually, like when it needs to come down, it comes down kind of like Angel Island, in without all the ground swell coming up from the big ass impact. Like it's just like if Angel Island could just land gently down.
Right.
You know, it's what I refer when I say Angel Island, right? That's from Sonic.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So he's walking around Animaria, and that's when two of the Zords, they're not called Zords, they're power animals.
Yep.
Two of the power animals, the tiger and the bison, run up on him, and he's like, whoa, you're big, you're huge. And the shark pops out of the water after he falls sort of into it, and he sees the giant yellow eagle, and they all just gather around him, and he's like, okay, this is interesting.
Get used to these images of like the zoom in, the big zoom on these animals roaring, because that's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of it.
There's a lot of it. He's confused until he sees the red lion, though. Then he's just like, oh man, red lion, that's so cool. If this is the dream, I do not want to wake up. I need to see this fucking lion. So he climbs.
Mm-hmm.
He climbs the mountain like up a sheer cliff.
Yeah, sheer cliff with his hands.
Bare hands.
And like I imagine just his like I don't know about Converses, but I would say just his sneakers.
Just
the sneakers. Yeah. Or work boots. Sheer climbing. With no gear.
No gear. It's a bad move. Because he almost falls. You made it pretty close though.
Cole, I would imagine climbing like that because he grew up in the wild. Like that's just his nature. That Cole Evans is basically Tarzan with a power morpher.
Yeah. But
like this is just Shishi, you know? Like
she's just like a veterinarian. It's but they're watching the other Gao Rangers and Totamu are watching him, and she's like, hey, this guy's gonna be your leader, and Gao Yellow looks like angry as fuck.
He's like, bruh, I've been here for a year.
Like, aren't we gonna hire from within? Like, no.
Like, I feel like I'm a leader. I don't remember being deposed from leadership. Are we gonna hold this to a vote?
Gao Blue's like, leader
in action? Like, there's 5 of us in this room. Pretty sure everybody would vote for me as leader.
Yeah, like, come on. Gao Blue's the one who's like, hey, why is he gonna be the leader? I'm much stronger. And that's when he jumps on Black. But Tetsumu is like, look, it's not up to me. It's up to the lion. It's up to the Gao lion. And whoever the Gao lion chooses, that's it. They're the leader. Ipso facto.
Mm-hmm.
We have to just accept that. We cut back over to Shishi just climbing his little heart out.
Just doing it. Just with his fingertips.
He's very impressed by the red lion. And the red lion jumps down.
He wants to give it a hearty handshake.
He does. He just wants to like play with his lion, which is maybe not smart, but you know.
No. I would imagine that something that's supposed to be known as the blazing lion wouldn't be all that great to touch.
Probably not. The red lion, the blazing lion, jumps down on him, and he falls, and they're falling together. We cut back over to the room where they're watching him. They're like, oh, he fell. This is the end for him. But no, the red lion caught him.
Yeah, that's great. Like we have to explain how like falling works. Terminal velocity is a thing. But like I guess that like the lion did that thing that happened in like Point Break where they just like, you know, get aerodynamic and speed up and fall faster than him, which bless it, but it's still landing on what is usually a metallic object.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he fell after it jumped at him, so it had more
Like,
speed.
I attribute it to like whenever the Gundam has to catch somebody that fell, like. But all the times Rain fell from something and Domon had to catch her when she fell in G Gundam, you would think there would be like a greasy smear and where like the Shining Gundam's hand is.
I
And just for the
mean,
amount of time she's had to just smack into it on catch.
right.
Like, that's not how that works.
She loves the Red Lion. Fucking loves it. It's like, you're so cool. You're the best. I love you.
Rescue romance. I'm looking forward to this one.
That's when he feels like he feels like the lion talking to him. He's like, "What? You've been looking for me? That's crazy. That's weird." It's like, "What do you mean?" And the lion's eyes flash and his hand starts burning. He's like, "Woo." And a lion symbol appears on his hand. He's like, "Oh my god!" And the energy comes out from him, and he gets the orb.
Yep. That's just the thing.
Just the thing. He had an orb inside him all along.
Yep.
It's the Gao Jewel.
I would have think you would have found that like as a kid, but I guess it was just in its energy state. But like, if there was like a gem in your like even in your endothermos or your exothermos, you would feel that.
Absolutely. But you
that,
know,
and, like I imagine the orb gets cold. Like you just feel like this random cold in the middle of your hand. But whatever, it's Super Sentai. Throw logic out the window.
yes. He gets teleported to where they're hanging out, which is a weird rock formation that nobody in Japan would have, like, not explored at this point.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's out of place. It's out of place where it is. Like, it's like between two buildings. It's not. Anyway. So he's teleported there, and he's like, whoa. And he's like, wait a minute, you're the guys that kidnapped me. And like, oh man, I guess that wasn't a dream? That's crazy. And Tetsuma's like, no, it's not a dream, my guy. You're here. I'm Tetsuma. I'm the priestess for the power animals. And you're the Red Ranger. You're Gao Red. The power animals protect the earth, and so you're gonna fight for them because you are a warrior. And he's like, I'm a vet.
I mean, I was gonna I only save animals when they're about to get gunned down. Like,
like that's what I do.
Kind of the limit of what I got, guys.
But before he can protest really too much, the pool of water starts going crazy, and like, oh man, the orgs are back. And he's like, oh man, that's a demon. They're like, no, it's an org. And Tetsuma's like, hey, so these are orgs that are trying to destroy Earth, and if left alone, the Earth will become corroded. The Earth will end. All life will end. He's like, oh, that sucks. But the orgs are attacking the dam, and they're like, come on, no time to waste. And she's like, here's your G phone. You can take the power of the Gao Lion, and you're gonna use it to fight evil. And he is just like he's not following along.
Cell phones.
She's not necessarily very smart for a veterinarian.
I'm just. This is the start of cell phones.
Yeah.
Like these as morphers, and I'm just like, imagine like just having your own personal cell phone and then like the Ranger phone, and you're just like fumbling through it. Like I imagine people with work phones and regular phones don't have to do this, but like imagine if you just like randomly like went on a conversation, just like on habit, just yell into your regular phone, "Gao access," and then people just like staring at you like,
"The
hell do you say?"
Oh, I'm just a huge Gao Ranger fan. They're great.
Yeah, they're just great. Like, have you guys seen them in action? You're really not supposed to, but I get it. Like,
I'm just wearing all red because I really enjoy the color, not because I am a Gao Ranger. We cut over to the dam. I'm sorry, you were saying something?
No, so I promise, I'm not a ranger. Like
Right.
this is the one few seasons where like they still operate under secrecy. Like uh, for example, Gao Yellow, like because they're referring to themselves by their colors, it's basically inferred that like Gao Yellow and by extension Taylor in the series is ex-military
Mm.
and going AWOL. They had to find a way to hide their identity because they're actively being Power Rangers. So this is one like the few seasons that has them as secret identities rather than like public persona.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, so it'd be best to not have that cell phone, like.
Right.
But
They can track that.
I guess it was just a handy thing to do that year. I mean, the season prior was Time Force, so that was Dick Higer, and that had the morphers appear on their hand on their wrist, and it
Mm.
was still like I think turnkey still.
Yeah. So we cut to the dam because that's where the orgs are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just they're attacking people. It's very interesting to watch these kinds of clips on Power Rangers because everybody is just decidedly more Japanese in these clips than anywhere
Oh yeah,
else in the show.
they're just yelling out "Oni, Oni." Nope, they're orgs. They have a name.
They
Like
have a
they're not
name.
humans, but I guess it's the closest thing they can yell out without knowing exactly what they are, which they're not supposed to.
Right.
So they're not gonna yell out, "Oh no, it's an org."
Um, the Gao Rangers show up and they're like, "Oh man, this is bad. Come on, let's get going." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Oh wait a minute, there's something wrong here. And then we get clips of animals running away from danger. Oh, and people in pain, but it's really the animals that Shishi cares about. Like there are people bleeding out, and he's like, "Oh man, they're all scared. How can I save these animals?" Like
Focus. Humans. Other animals. Humans are animals too.
So he's looking at the G phone and remembering what Tetsumu said about it, and he's like, "Hey, do I have the power to stop this? Can I go fight for the animals? Tell me how to do it." And they're like, "Yeah, you totally should. If the Gao Lion was right, you should have the power, but it'll be dangerous." And he's like, "I'm a veterinarian. I can't ignore cries for help." Okay. I don't
I
think vets take
mean,
like an oath
like
like
most of the
that.
cries for help you would hear would be not Oni.
But all the Gao Rangers like, yeah, that sounds like heroic. So just follow what we do. And so they start doing their morph poses, and he follows along. He's a step behind him, but it's the first time he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get a transformation sequence, which this isn't a bad transformation sequence. It's not my
It's
favorite.
just excitedly generic.
Yeah,
Like the cell phone aspect of it being the core of their body is just weird to me.
yeah,
Like it signifies that they basically become their cell phones and then transform, which is not true. It's just a transformation sequence.
right.
Like at least like Lightspeed Rescue, like they put that shield out and then it just like comes over their body and then it just like transform and everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's just like it feels like it's wrapping them in an outfit. But like at least this one is just like I become my morpher and then I come out with a different pose.
Right.
By the
So,
way,
hmm?
I like the energy of Gal Black's transformation where he goes, "Gal likes him," and he just has his arms up like, "Yes, I got a job.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here to work."
Gao Yellow flies away immediately. Attacks Turbine. He's like, "Yep, I'm here to fight.
I have these wings.
I have wings. That's what I do." He introduced himself as the warrior chosen by Gao Eagle, the noble eagle, Gao Yellow. He does cool poses. It's awesome. And the org's confused, and that distracts him long enough for Gao Blue to show up do some flips.
Out of the
and
water
effects.
again.
Out of the water again. He's the
Convenient body of water.
He's the warrior chosen by Gao Shark, the surging shark, Gao Blue. More posing.
Yep.
It's really good. We cut over to the plug, or being tossed into a tree by Gao Bison, or Gao Black. He's like, I'm the Iron Bison, Gao Bison. This is how they're introducing themselves right now. I don't think I'm hoping they don't do this every episode.
Nope, this is just the Ranger introduction.
Oh, okay. What's really interesting about the English introduction for Gao White is she doesn't say the White Ranger. She just calls herself the Tiger Ranger, which later they fix and let her call herself the White Ranger. But it felt like they didn't know what to do. They're like, because they bathe her in pink light when she unmorphs and things like that. So it feels like she was supposed to be.
Well, she has pink accents, so they can't. There was like 4 years straight of Pink Ranger, of female Pink Rangers, and this was like the change up, in that she's gonna be like the third female White Ranger, and then this is in Sentai, so there's seasons where we haven't had that, but it's like 4 straight, and now they kind of like break the color curve, but it feels like they're not being very committal about it. And then the next season, the female Ranger is teal. So, they fully break the color diversity there, at least. But
it just felt
they still keep a male Yellow Ranger and Ninja Storm, at least.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like to me like Saban was like, "Can we call her the Pink Ranger? She has pink accents. Can we get away with it?" And then eventually they decided like, "No, we couldn't get away with it. She's the White Ranger. Fine."
The Bell Tiger.
So
this is how you know I'm female. I'm the Bell Tiger.
I'm the Bell Tiger, yeah. Gao White. And this is when Shishi rolls up as Gao Red. And he is like
on all fours.
On all fours. He's super into this persona that he's been given. And he just knows that he's the warrior chosen by the Gao Lion, the Blazing Lion. He's Gao Red. Nobody's told him about the Blazing Lion part, honestly.
No, he just came to that on his own.
On his own. And so the three of them start they get down on all fours, start scratching and pawing at the ground, and then they charge. And they attack, and they're doing okay until lightning. It's just like they're really into these personas. We cut over to
what's weird is that sorry, let me interject. Every Ranger has a jacket, and on the back of the jacket has their logo on it, and on the top it says Blazing Lion Gao Red on it, on the back of it, and that's a jacket he gets next episode. So either there's a really good tailor in Animaria and we just never meet them, or that's been that's what they knew the Red Ranger was going to say and had that jacket prepared.
Yes.
So if he felt that was what he wanted to say, or if it was just mnemonic data in the morpher, is anybody's guess. But as they will go on to say next episode, these guys have only been active for months. So they're only active because the orb showed up.
Right.
Otherwise they would just be dormant.
Yeah.
So they're not like a full-on city police force like Rangers are usually. Rangers are called in times of great duress in some cases, but in Lightspeed Rescue, they were just, this is what we do.
This is our job.
This is our job. We have rescue vehicles. We save the day, and then we fight evil.
Yeah. So we cut back over to Blue and Yellow fighting the Turbine Org, and they're going to kill him until the Plug Org shows up and is like, "Hey, let me help you. Welcome." He uses his lightning again, but instead of repelling, he pulls them to him and then electrocutes them some more and throws them away. Yeah. And then they combine their powers to make big explosions.
The big spark-filled explosions that Sentai is known for.
Yes.
The fireworks, and everybody flies as if jumping on a trampoline. All 5 of them, and then they land, stretch their backs. and then get up.
Yes.
Now they're all five of them together. They go in their pose and like, all right, we got to figure out a way together in which we can take these guys down.
Yeah. So Shishi's like getting up from this like attack, like, oh man, it's terrible. And when his logo starts glowing in, he's like, what? Listen, guys, we have to work together. Gao Yellow's like, look, we're in battle. There's no time to talk. I gotta go fuck these dudes up. And she starts like, no, listen, Gao Lion's telling me we have to work together.
So this is like the Naruto and Sasuke conversations, where like we need to come up with a team up technique, and Sasuke's like, I got Chidori, no, like,
yeah, like I'm good, my guy. He's like, look, they're fighting as one, so they're stronger. If we fight as one, we will also be stronger. She's like, okay, well, what do we do? Says Gao White. And he's like, everybody pull out your weapons. Like, okay, fine. And so we have the Lion Fang, the Eagle Sword, the Shark Cutters, the Bison Axe, and the Tiger Baton. Like, there's a distinct, one of these things is not like the other.
Hey, the baton is a it's a stave. It's not a baton.
Yeah.
Staves worked back in the medieval era. You leave that alone. The baton works. It's not the silliest weapon I've seen in Super Sentai.
I don't know. It's just like all the guys have like actual weapons, and she's got baton.
Hey, we tried. Remember, Zio had a shield.
Fair.
Yeah, before the Rising of the Shield Hero and Captain America, they were like, Captain America: The First Avenger. We had Zio Pink with a shield.
The
bar's been set for weird weapons. Baton will allow it. Plus, the baton forms the staff part of their combo weapon. So
fair enough.
Like it makes the handle.
It does.
I think
It does make the handle. I think we're about to find out because they're putting their weapons together. It is the handle. You use the Lion Fang, which is like a glove, to hold this thing because it's super powerful.
Uh-huh.
And so all the Rangers post up, they stack up, and
I don't get this part. Like, I've never actually, as far as Super Sentai weapons are concerned, like whenever they like join in like shoulder to shoulder, like side by side to support like the Red Ranger doing the attack. I never understand the power. There's never a power transfer to suggest that this is necessary in order to get this move together. Like it just feels like, oh, I participated because I put my weapon together with you guys.
Yeah,
extra credit.
Extra credit. The Plug Org is like, you know what? I don't give a shit about no giant ass sword that y'all made out of these Lego pieces apparently.
And I'm out.
I want to fuck you up. And Gao Red says, evil, disperse. They do a cool motion, and he's like, beast sword. Yeah. And they slash through him. They're like, yeah. And that's when the Plug Org blows the fuck up. There is goop everywhere afterwards.
Should I try to pronounce what the weapon's called?
What is the weapon called?
The Haja Hyaku Jukin. The Evil Crushing 100 Beast Sword.
Wow. That's a name.
That's a name.
We'll just call it the Beast Sword.
We'll just call it the Evil Crushing 100 Beast Sword. But they are all about the Hyakuju part of this name, by the way. There is 100 power animals.
That is true.
Yep.
They go
100 power animals. We're going to see a lot of Zords this season.
They go pretty crazy on the Zords this season. Like, I didn't see a lot of Wild Force, but I just remember it having, like, all kinds of Zords.
I think, like, every Ranger gets 3.
Oh, wow.
And, in most cases, they just kind of use, like, a different, like, animal per time. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like, the armadillo is specifically used as a cue ball.
Right. Yeah, some of them are just like weapons.
You only see a thing about 30, but the concept art of the show has all 100.
That's too many.
Yup. There was a movie only like Gorilla Zord called Gao Kong, and there was one for an audio drama Because there's a visual for an audio drama. Jesus.
So there's
They were
another.
going to sell some toys, that's for sure.
Yeah. So the Rangers are congratulating themselves for beating the plug org, but the turbine org has got away. He's covered in the blood of his companion, which they don't show in the American version.
Nope.
Too gruesome, I suppose.
Too gruesome. To suggest they even have innards in the first place.
Right.
I mean, like they go into the fact that the orgs are like heartless,
Mm-hmm.
but shouldn't even really have an internal system that dictates that they have fluids,
Right.
or in any case that they would like have fluids circulating in their body somehow. But whatever, like to each their own. We needed gore, I guess.
This is when we first see the one horn orgs, and the turbine orgs like, wow, those guys were powerful, whoever they were. And then they reappear, they're like, yeah, we are fucking powerful. The horn is a symbol of strength.
Yeah, we're dope, dude.
We're dope. I mean, they do have good costumes. I do like these costumes.
Like, motherfucker, ask about me.
They're the Duke orgs. They serve the master god of all orgs. So they want the turbine org to fight for them. And we don't know. He obviously says yes because the next time we see him, the Rangers are looking for him. They're like, huh, where is this guy? And he just appears behind them, and now he's like 50 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
He's huge. Well, I mean, he's like probably like more than that. But the point is, he's giant now. And so
He's big.
He's a big boy. And so he starts swinging and destroying things. And Gal Yellow's like, that guy is way too big for us to fight. And Shishi's like, no, I can do it. And he gets...
but like we've never had an org be this big before. Like clearly they don't know how escalation works. Like they were too comfortable with this whole one-on-one org stuff.
Pretty much. Shishi jumps up to attack this thing, and it automatically denies him. Straight up slaps him to the ground. And he's like, oh, that sucked.
That didn't tickle.
That's when his Beast King sword starts glowing, and his gem appears in his hand. He's like, wait a minute. What's going on? Everybody starts getting gems. And they're glowing. And they're like, what should we do? We cut over to Tetamu. She has a gem that's glowing. She's like, oh, right, yeah. It's time to fuck shit up. The time has come. He's like, everybody, place your Gao drill into your Beast King sword. And so they do. And that's when shit goes wild. Their swords start glowing, and they call upon the power animals. The power animals come down from the animarium. And because they hear the call. We cut up to the animarium, and they're like, yeah, let's go. And so start with Gao Lion, then Gao Eagle. And we were told that when Sword and Jewel unites, a tone echoes and into the heavens. And in response, the spirits of nature descend upon the earth on the path of light. And that's what happens here. The Zords basically come down. They're glowing on a path of lights.
Yep. Riding a rainbow on the way down.
Yep. And so they're charging the giant org. And they're like, oh man, they're coming to help us. This is awesome. They're going to fight with us. They never do this. And so we start with Gao Lion attacking, and it's scratching, slashing, and the turbine org just throws it off. It lands on its feet, though. And then the tiger attacks, the bison and shark attack together, and the eagle has lasers. Why does the eagle get? I mean, they all have lasers, but specifically, the eagle attacks with its lasers first. Like,
I guess the eagle couldn't fit in the shot, and then like they all just have like it's just like a huge like Care Bear stare that defeats the evil plugs org.
But Gao Red says, "Where there is life, there is a roar of justice," and all the power animals agree.
They do their roar.
They do their roar. They're like, Haiju Sentai Gao Ranger. They pose, and they give this guy a vibe check. He does not pass the vibe check. It's a Care Bear stare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he blows up. I'm like, yeah, we did it. It's awesome.
We did it. This is what we needed, a leader, guys.
Yeah. We needed a leader so that we could kill things with giant robotic animals.
Gao Yellow, still not convinced.
Still not convinced. The outro says, the power of the sacred animals and courage of the warriors. They created a power that destroys the wicked. But the battle to save Earth will be long and difficult. They have yet to learn that. Shishi's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm ready for this. He punches the air. All the Zords start screaming, roaring. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. It's like, to be continued. So, overall, very fun. Shishi's a himbo.
I mean, better a himbo than, like, Tarzan with a morpher. Like,
yeah, I agree. She's like, I'm just here. There are two things I know: dumb and animal, and I do both.
Yeah, Cole Evans is usually usually trying to find an excuse to get his shirt off, because God, he is ripped. Jesus Christ, Cole Evans had a really good body back then, and like, like it's like to the degree that, like, in the same vein of Leo in Lost Galaxy, but how often they just try to find an excuse to get his shirt off. Yeesh.
So overall, I think this season's going to be a lot of fun. It seems fun.
Yeah.
We'll find out, though.
It was definitely fun in American. I can't wait to see the gore and such. Like, dude, that's a version of a movie you saw on USA Network for like 5 years.
Right? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like oh, they got deaths in here. You're gonna see a pretty wicked one next episode.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's it. I don't really have anything to talk about on this episode other than I like Gao Yellow because I do like the Sasuke archetype.
Oh yeah.
It's fun, and I like Shishi because he's a good boy.
But I like Gao Black, like, just because he has still the same spirit as Danny in the American show, and I can't wait to see like just like the gentle giant aspect of his character, despite the fact that as a Japanese citizen he only has so much of height.
Right.
Like,
I mean, they do their best.
Yep. Like it's kind of like the same energy of like, damn, what's like a really big, like a recent character who's just like big and friendly. He's kind of like Appa. Like,
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, he definitely has like Appa energy. That's what I'm looking at. But I'm also looking forward to like Gao White's characterization being the only female. But at least they have a female mentor, which I believe is a decent departure from what they're used to.
Right.
Because like Time Force was like, police officers, time police. So like there was a lot of like bureaucracy and everything. That said, anything you're looking forward to in the show?
Just to see how it goes. I didn't really I kind of, like I said, I cut out of Power Rangers around In Space because I was just like, so they're not pursuing Diva Talks. That's done.
Oh, that's just done.
Okay, I'm out. Interesting about Gao Ranger in comparison to Wild Force is there's 51 episodes of Gao Ranger, but there's only like 40 something episodes of Wild Force.
Right. But in the same token, remember that they cut down stuff. So there's like
true.
There's like Monster of the Weeks that we just never experience.
Very true.
And there's different crossovers in the Wild Force than we have here. There's only one crossover, I believe, in this one. For the 25th anniversary, they had veteran Rangers from prior seasons of Super Sentai show up.
Right.
And they had overarching plots and everything. So when we get to that crossroads, we're going to have to actually look at like how that season and the season that they represent in the crossovers ended, because there's some story bleed over.
Oh.
Yeah. But as far as crossovers for Wild Force, it was Time Force, which they didn't have a crossover between Decker Ranger and Gao Ranger in this season.
Right.
And there was the crossover with Forever Red.
Do they not do Forever Red in Gao Ranger?
Nope.
Oh. Well,
Forever Red is a fully original generation, fully original footage. So it's a lot of quarry. Hell, a lot of quarry. Like Kamen Rider, original season quarry. Watching original Kamen Rider, you realize just how far things have grown. I'll tell you this much: they showed the death of a character, well, like of a red shirt of sorts, by making a shape of his body with pearls and pulling the end, and then filming it really fast.
Oof.
That was the disappear. I was like, oh man, that's a relic of its time. Also, judo flipping. I think we're spoiling all the jump kicks and wows and flying punches and everything. Like an actual judoka being the star of your show means that there's gonna be a lot of chops, kicks, and throwing you down the quarry. It was just a whole lot of rolling.
Right.
But that's the God of Sanshiro. You can't say shit about the God of Sanshiro.
Well, I think that's the end of this episode.
Yep.
So, where can people find you online if they want to talk to you about stuff, if you care to?
All right. So I'm on Twitter at Justice Ray with one for the I and Ice, and I can be found on Discord in the same name. I'm pretty chatty if you find me on Twitter. I go on diatribes. So look forward to threads from me.
Yeah.
As for you?
You can find me, as always, on Twitter at ThatFirePrincess, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on the numerous shows I do. I do a lot of podcasts, folks, because I am insane and hate myself.
I would peg for bored.
I mean, when I do something, I go all in.
Oh, of course.
So, especially if you want, if you like this, but you're like, what does she feel like about Gravity Falls? Well, I do that. I do one called Pining for the Falls with my friend, Dr. Sea Monster, and we talk about Gravity Falls just like this. So that's where you can find me. And so, yeah, that is the end of this episode.
Sounds pretty solid to me. Great episode.
Great episode.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I totally forget what Shishi said before they did their Care Bear stare, because I was like, that would be a great outro. So until next time, Gao Access.
Gao Access.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Gao! 飛びかかれ Gao! 食らいつけ Gao 叫べ Gao